Hello everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Harrison Made Sounds. This week I will be speaking to George Crewe, tattoo artist and owner of Noiseland Tattoo in Leicester. If you haven't done so already, please go and listen to my previous episodes. We have a guest mix from Flat White Chris, another conversation with Joe Vozza, and a guest mix with DA1. Please like and follow and subscribe and all that shit that people tell you to do all the time. Do all that. That'd be great. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. This week, I'm joined by my good mate George Crewe, tattoo artist from Leicester, and owner of Noiseland Tattoo Shop. How you doing, George?
I'm good, cheers, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. As we have already spoken,
Yeah.
So we're pretending.
This is all completely fake right now.
yeah, but that's YouTube these days. So,
Yeah.
So there's the three things that I'm trying to sort of speak to people about are creativity, music, and skateboarding. All of which I think most people are probably interested in. So hopefully I know you're interested in most of them things anyway, so it should be fine. So as I said, you're obviously a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
So going back to, I suppose, how you got into what you do now, when did you first start doing creative stuff? Away from school, obviously, just realizing that you're creative.
Really, really young, actually. I don't know if I'm to put an age as far back as I can remember, maybe about 6, 7 years old. I'd just do just general drawings and paintings, and I'd copy. I was really into The Simpsons when I was young.
Yeah.
And I'd just copy them and make up little scenarios on paper with the Simpsons characters and stuff. And I remember this drawing of one that, if we was to look back now, it'd be like a piece of shit. But at the time, it was amazing for my age, or so my parents thought. Mm-hmm. And I remember my dad gave me a $5 for him to have it, because he was like, I'm going to keep that forever, so I'll buy it off you. And that was actually my first piece of art that I sold for money.
At 6, shot in artwork,
yeah. So it started young.
So from there, did you just stay on the art? Did you just do art forever, or did you?
No, I've always done art. So, like I say, it started then just drawing with pencils and stuff, copying things. Me and a few friends of mine, one of my friends who works here, who you know, Kaya, he's another tattoo artist who works at my shop. Me and him got heavily into two things. We got into graffiti and painting Warhammer. Yeah. So me and him have always had a strong artistic bond, let's say.
Yeah.
Always done art together. And we still do that now. It's lasted for so long. I think we probably started doing that when we were about the Warhammer thing, painting that about 10 years old. And yeah, we although it's embarrassing, we do secretly still do it now around each other's houses.
So you paint Warhammer. I'm sort of all for that, because I like all the little paint pots you get, and it's very precise and stuff.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Do you go in and play though?
No,
it's fine if you do. By the way, you're allowed. It's fine.
No,
I'm hoping you don't here, but.
No, you know what? I've never actually had an official game of Warhammer.
That's great.
So
that's really good to know.
We've been into the shop many times, and we love painting it, but we're so aware of how, and not to offend anyone who plays Warhammer, because I paint not too much, but
And they're
we're
dangerous
aware.
people.
Yeah. They're a different breed of people, the people who play it, and we just find it. They're completely harmless and innocent, but we find it too funny.
Yeah.
Really too funny.
Yeah. I always used to like walk past Warhammer shop, Games Workshop, the sort of same way I'd walk past a brothel. Like,
yeah,
I'd sort of look in the door, and like if anyone even slightly gave me eye contact, I'd be like, no, like scared, basically scared of it.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
It's good that you dipped your toe into it and just painted them probably really well as well.
Yeah, no, I should have brought one as like an example, but I didn't think I'd get onto the.
I'll flash it up on the screen. Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah.
So
you can do those sort of edits now, then, yeah.
Nah, just like pretend that I can, just to get people to keep.
Well, I'll send you some pictures after anyway.
Yeah, definitely won't upload them anyway. So
my graffiti and Warhammer were like my two main sources of artistic expression for a long time. I guess they still are.
Yeah.
Until I started tattooing when I was about 16.
Yeah.
So I've discovered tattooing when I was like, paid an interest in it when I was about 15, when my brothers who were a bit older than me were getting tattoos. So I was just interested in what they were getting. I wasn't necessarily interested in the art. I just thought like, oh, that's sick. He's got like his initials on his back. I want that.
Yeah.
Which is the first tattoo my brother got. And then I started, because I was like good at art, or so I thought. People were like, oh, you should like draw tattoos, and people can like take the tattoos to their tattooist and they'll do it on you.
Yeah.
Which like now, like if someone come into the shop and was like, which they do, and said, oh, my little brother who's 15's done this drawing, I want you to do it on me. It's just completely ridiculous. But at the time it seemed to make sense, and that is what I did for a little bit.
Yeah. So, like on that point, do you it's obviously part of your job to do what people want. So if someone books in with you and goes like, I don't know, I can't think of a good example, but something crap that you're not into, it's not the style you want to do, that's obviously like part of your job is still having to do that. What do you like mind doing that, or are you still like look at it as a creative sort of opportunity and you still will put like, everything into trying to make it a good tattoo still? And or do you just go like, right, I've just got to do it, this is work? And I know you obviously you're at the point where you can probably, you've got like your style that is very well known now, so you probably do just get people who know that that's what you're good at, and so they're probably quite like-minded. But you must still get people who do like you stuff say, that you don't want to.
Yeah, well, like you just said, I mean, nowadays I won't really get asked for that sort of stuff. And if it's a walk-in, I'm not really quick to like jump on it and want to do it. Like one of the guys at the shop will do it. Yeah. But before, when I was having to do anything and everything, I can always put my style into it as much as I can. But some people really do want exactly what they've seen online, which I won't do. I won't like copy a tattoo, but I'll definitely try and put my style into it as much as I can, even if it's like secretly without them knowing. Yeah. But I've said to like my friends before, I don't mind doing any tattoo as long as I get on with the person. I know that sounds like a cliche thing to say, and like I'm saying it to seem like this great guy. But it's true. It really is true. Like me and Jake, the guy I own the shop with, we'll say to each other, at the end of each day, who have you got in tomorrow? Not like, what are you doing tomorrow? Because it's, if we've got a couple of people in who we really get on with, and all four of us are in the room, and it's just the conversation's flowing well, we're all in a good mood, I really look forward to it, and it doesn't what they're getting. Whereas I could have the best tattoo ever, and I could be doing someone like a full Japanese back piece or something. And that's not to say I don't enjoy it, but if me and the person don't have like a great connection, which is rare, usually we do, but if we don't, like, I don't know, it does feel like work. Whereas when we get it, it's not.
Yeah, no, that's sort of what I would think is the same. Like, I've been there getting tattooed from you, and when it is like everyone sort of gets on, you almost forget it's like a tattoo shop. You sort of forget you're having a tattoo yourself, and it's probably for you, like, you're just there being correct. You're probably not thinking about it either, because you obviously you've been doing it that long. You know exactly what you're doing now. You've like mastered your craft, sort of thing. So you can just relax.
I'm trying.
And that's probably, like, I imagine, when like your best work happens anyway.
That's what I mean. I can, because the thing is, it's just human nature. If I'm with a person who, I don't know, let's say they bore me, or or they're just generally not, because I've got to tattoo everyone. I can't say to someone, "You're a dickhead, I'm not tattooing you," unless they isn't to.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just are, and any tattooist would be lying if they didn't, like, think to themselves when they're in that situation, I can't wait for this to be over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to make like this to sound like I'm just like hating on clients, because I appreciate everyone gets tattooed by me, but you know, if you spend an amount of time with someone who's just winding you up,
a racist pig, basically, then you're not going to enjoy it. I think, do you know, before, like, I sort of made this transition from doing like small, like traditional pieces like this, trying to frame the circle, to like large Japanese work. My clientele seems to have shifted like dramatically, like in the type of people I'm tattooing. Like with the Japanese, everyone I'm getting through the door, like 90% is like someone 30 to 40 years old. You know, that they know what they want. They want these large pieces, and I can really talk to these people on a level, and we can have some seriously like deep conversations about real topics. Whereas before, I was doing the traditional pieces, not everyone, but the majority of my clientele then was like young lads, and I can still have a laugh with them, but we're not on a level like that. I don't go out uptown boozing and like trying to get with as many girls as I can every weekend, like, and that's what they do. They want to talk to me about, and I just can't get into it with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you obviously find with, like, I'd say the Japanese stuff especially, it's like, it's a very basically it's an interesting person would want that, because it's, you know, it's quite a far afield culture. Like Japan, it's miles away. So you'd find that the type of person who ends up getting a big Japanese back piece has obviously probably knows a lot about tattooing, is probably very into art and like culture.
They're usually quite into it, into the meanings behind some of the designs and the culture and stuff. And if ever someone doesn't know what they want necessarily with that sort of style, and I know them, I read about the meanings behind all of these images a lot, and I want to know it all. It's just like part of the fascination I have with the style, and I do generally push them in a direction of something that I think represents them. And when I give them the meaning behind a certain image, and I think, like, I say to them, the sentiment behind this piece really sounds like how you are. They love it, and they want to go for it, because not only does it look good, then they've got the it's nice to have a bit of meaning behind it, especially something so large. And they tell people that, and then it just sounds cool, doesn't it? Like
but I think it is important. Like the times I've been to you before with what I thought I wanted, sort of thing, and then there'll be times where you, like, I've not got that many tattoos. I've got a few, but there has been times, a couple, where you've gone like, oh, maybe do this because that actually can represent, you know, this or that, and you've changed what I wanted originally.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not
because no, you've basically explained something. It's made me go like, oh yeah, so maybe I'll get that. And then I just think that's like a really cool part of having a tattoo, like as opposed to going like, draw this on some paper and like put it here. I really enjoy like, and I think everyone probably does, the experience of going like, I've had a baby and it's called Jonathan. So I want Jonathan here. And then you go like, yeah, maybe have it here. I just think that like original discussion you have with like a tattoo artist is the fun bit, really. And it probably is for you as well.
It's important to me to give everyone something that's unique to them. You know, I've done like 100 roses on people, but they're all different and no one's got exactly the same one. And it's not only my job to put the tattoo on you and make it look neat. That's the small part of the full bigger picture. It's my job to guide you in the right direction and tell you, lead you towards a better option. And some people don't really understand that. They think I'm just like the man who puts the tattoo on you, and I just do what you give me.
Do what you want to do. Yeah.
It's not that at all. And if someone's like bringing me a terrible design and they're really pushing me to do it, I will just say no, because I'm not willing to put something bad on someone, because they're not going to show someone and go, oh yeah, George did this, but he didn't want to do it. They're going to be like, George did this, and then I look crap.
Of course. And that's where like, and especially with Instagram now, like you could potentially go, if someone went like, right, I want a light switch, but with like a pair of tits underneath it, and I want it really, I don't know, neon colours. You could, like, in theory, if you did that, you could be like, your name and reputation could go rubbish because of one thing that you didn't want to do. Not that that would happen, obviously. Like, because you've got such a good body of work anyway. But I'm just saying, you probably do have to be careful with what you choose to do, I suppose.
Well, I don't necessarily get asked to do or do anything that's like offensive. But yeah, you're right. And I think every artist is exactly the same. For every picture that's on my Instagram, there's probably 100 that aren't. What's on there is not my entire body of work, obviously.
Of course,
because I'm so critical of what I do. There's pieces that are not on there that people have seen me doing in the shop and gone like, that's incredible. And I'm not trying to like toot my own horn there, but
no, of course not. No.
They'll think it's great, but to me, and I know that other artists will dissect it and see the flaws that I see. I just don't want to. I only want to put my very, very best work out there. If anyone's got a piece on them that I've done that's not on Instagram, it doesn't mean it's bad.
It just doesn't matter. Like,
I'm just too critical of myself.
Yeah. So on that subject, would you have a world for your job specifically without Instagram, or do you think tattooing industry is better because of Instagram?
Obviously, this is like a topic that's we've discussed in the shop like to no end. And we can find an answer for it. I've said loads. If I could stay as busy as I am and be guaranteed the work and without Instagram, I'd delete it right now, because it's a great source of inspiration. I've had some of my best ideas from not just seeing tattoos, but just seeing. I follow loads of art accounts. That's pretty much all I do follow, just artistic and creative accounts, and obviously a few friends and family. But I get really inspired by Instagram because I see amazing, like, world-class work every day, and it just pushes me to think I need to be better. But at the same time, I can do a piece that I think is incredible, and I think I've really peaked and I've achieved something that's like special, and I can upload it to Instagram, and the reaction to it really won't reflect how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And even though I know it's good, it'll make me think it's not, and it'll make me question it. And no, I really don't like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I
because
definitely relate to that.
Yeah, it's like I've done tattoos that have taken me, God, like 70 hours of tattooing, like full back pieces, and not only the tattoo time, the preparation time on top of that is probably another 15.
Yeah,
we're looking close to like 100 hours of work, and you can put it on Instagram and someone will just scroll by it in a second. That's all right. Or just give it a like, and that's it. They've forgot about it. And it just seems so like throwaway.
But that's what it is. And I was speaking to Joe about it last week, and that's why you've got to take Instagram for what it is. It's not the real world. Like, I think you'd probably know that if someone saw one of them full back pieces in real life, say on the beach or something, someone took the top off, pretty much I know everyone would go like, wow. Like, if it is an amazing piece of work, which it obviously, some of the things you do are. So like, it's obviously not just trying to make you feel better here, mate. No,
I don't feel like I obviously have confidence, and I don't think that is the truth. But I just have moments of just second guessing and thinking like, what could I do better? But I try not to let the things that I would change define what I do next. I leave that there. That's done now, and then I move on.
No, that's good. So we'll move on a bit. So getting on to, I suppose, is there anything else you do? Obviously, you've got such a creative job, like you're pretty much always either drawing or painting or tattooing, work-wise.
Yeah.
Do you do anything else creative to get away from your job, or is that all your creative energy going into your work? Or do you have, because I remember you had like a miniature train set, I remember, that I used to be very interested in, going like, God, I want a miniature train set. And that intrigues
that sort
me.
of
But do you have anything else?
The train set sort of is, it stems from the painting the Warhammer, because it's very similar techniques, I guess, you'd use to create it all. Because I was really interested in, like, for anyone who knows about like the world of Warhammer, the terrain is 50% of the hobby. So you've got the models, what you buy, but then all the terrain, like the boards that you play on, people go to like such extreme lengths to make those look like incredibly realistic. And that always interested me a lot, probably more so than the models, to be honest, because it was like the models, I'm buying a kit and I'm painting it, and like if you do a good job, then there is a great sense of achievement. But to just take these raw materials, like that you make the terrain from, like foam board and fucking paper mache and then once it's all done, it literally looks like a miniature shrunken piece of terrain.
I've seen it. It's mental, some of this stuff. I have seen them.
Yeah,
and there's something fascinating about like small stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm really into like just miniature. This is just a weird fascination, but just anything that's like a miniature version of something.
Yeah. So you like in like when they propose like a new airport to be built, and they have like a glass box with the airport. I always like that.
Yeah, I love all that.
Not, you're a different level, probably.
Yeah.
But
so that's obviously, we mentioned that earlier, but you know what, mate? I'm into so many things. It's almost too much that I don't ever fully commit to any of them.
Yeah.
So obviously, tattooing takes up a lot of my time, and painting flash for tattoos, because that's where I'm gonna get better with my design aspect of tattooing. But I've tried so many things like over the years, and I want to pursue it fully, but like I just said, I want to do that many things. I don't know. I always just dip my toe in. Yeah, I mean, artistically, like if we're just talking painting and drawing, generally I can just have a go at it and it looks pretty good because that's what I do every day. But
Yeah.
I've recently started trying to do a few sculptures out of clay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I did one of a friend of mine. I know you know Daryl.
Yeah.
I did one of him.
He's featured on both This is a podcast now.
Yeah,
He's
he gets
featured
a
on
lot
both episodes. So once again, big
popular
up
man.
Muscle Appeals.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely need to get him on actually.
Yeah, I must do. Someone's trying to tell me something. Yeah, so what were you saying?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just making these real crap, like I was just making a few faces, just freestyling a face, like it wasn't anyone. And then I sent it to him and I said I'd do him one in exchange for basically, we'll go on to this in a minute, but he's been having me and Vozza, who was on the last episode, and a few others in his studio making a few songs. And that takes up a lot of his time. So I said I'd do this sculpture of him as like a thank you.
Is it
It
not
didn't go
like
very
his whole body?
No.
6
A
foot
bus.
of clay. Yeah. Okay.
Just
So
a bus.
yeah. Right. Still mad.
Yeah, yeah. But it wasn't very good. I'm gonna have a few goes on a few practice goes first, then I'm gonna have another crack at it. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's that I was attempting to do. I guess naturally we should go on to the why I was in a music studio because that's like a creative endeavor I've never really taken before, but it's like incredibly fun.
So what have you actually been doing? Because I've heard clips, but like I don't know. I've only heard clips on WhatsApp, and I don't know what's going on, like who's doing what. So what's actually been going on?
So basically, Daryl is a music producer, and he has a studio in. It's like a warehouse full of creative spaces where you can do whatever you want in each room. So obviously, he's got like a music studio in his. Voz, who was on the episode before, that's where his photography studio is. They're in the same building, which is about 2-3 minutes from where I live.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to just go down. So I'd always heard these songs that Daryl and a few of my friends would make. And because Daryl's such a talented musician, producer, he can make a song that everyone who's featuring on isn't musically talented at all. Yeah. And he can put it together so well and produce it so well that it just sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And you'd hear it on the radio and you wouldn't even question whether it was a joke.
Yeah.
Which just makes the whole process so much more fun.
Yeah.
And I'd always said, like, when I'd see them, like, I need to get involved in one of these songs. And then a month ago, there was a few of them down there and they messaged me to come down. And we made 2 songs that night. We made one called Generic Love, which the title explains it quite well. It's the generic love song. All the lyrics are like the most cliche, done before lyrics you've ever heard. And it's like a country and western kind of style to it.
I've heard, that's the one I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's probably the best one that's been done. And the same night, we did one called Christmas Party, which is, yeah, you can guess what it's about.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I don't know, I just enjoy it so much, and it's such a laugh doing it with everyone because we're all in the room, like, we're all running lyrics by each other, and we're all trying to write the funniest lyrics and do it in the most comical way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to be a country and western singer. It's purely for comedy. And it just went from there. But as much as it's a laugh, once you get past the fact that we are just messing around, and we actually, Daryl really gets into the production, and we admittedly get it quite into the lyric writing. Yeah, it is creative and it is fun. Like, it's almost like acting because we're acting up. We're trying to be these characters on the mic that we're not. We're trying to just portray the most typical characters we can think of for whatever genre it may be.
Yeah, so the country one I have heard, it reminded me of Have you seen Old Brother, Where Art Thou, the film with George Crewe?
No, sounds like something Daryl would say.
Oh yeah. Well, I bet he's seen it because I heard it and I was like, it sounds just like that film. I won't go into it because you don't know the film, but yeah, no, that's cool. And I think the reason you probably enjoy it is because there's no pressure, is there? Like,
no, not at all.
No one's got any pressure on them in that environment, and that's probably where the most fun and creative stuff happen. You've probably done tattoos. I don't want to go back to it, but you've probably done tattoos where there's no pressure because it's a good mate of yours. Everything's chilled. It's just fun, isn't it? When there's no pressure involved. And with the music, that's obviously the same.
But you know, sometimes in tattooing, there's so much pressure because someone's coming from, you know, traveling from another city or whatever. They've seen my work online and they want exactly what they've seen.
Yeah.
And they want to be not only as good, but they want it to be better than what they've seen. And obviously that is why I try so hard at it, so I deliver that for them. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure with that.
Yeah.
But just going, I want to go back to like the graffiti thing. I am really into graffiti and I've done it for years, and I do take it fairly seriously, but I never really take pictures of my graffiti, and I never share it on Instagram or anything like that. And all the other people I paint with do. Yeah. And it's because, you know, to me, graffiti is just fun. I don't care about being the biggest graffiti artist or making money out of it.
Yeah.
So I like to do it for what it is in the moment and just walk away and I forget about it, because I get judged so much by my other work. It's nice to just do it and not think about it.
Yeah, that's wicked, man. That's like really cool to hear, to be fair. And it's like obviously a nice little release for you as well.
Yeah, I love it.
So like staying on music for like a little bit more. What do you care what music you have on, like while you're working? Or are you pretty more about the convo? Or what? Yeah,
it depends. Like I mentioned earlier, it really depends who I've got in. Sometimes the conversation is flowing so well that it'll be like a nice little backing track, but it'll be real low.
Yeah.
It depends what mood we're all in. You know, in the summer, like we have fucking mad like drum and bass on and shit like that, because we might go out after we've finished tattooing into town and stuff. Probably not this year, but we did before. But we listen to a lot of like instrumental stuff when we're tattooing. Actually, yesterday actually I was doing like a bit of painting and I was listening to, you know, David Goggins.
Yeah.
I had his book, the audio book, Can't Help. And well, I can't really go into like some of the things he says, but that would be the most intense thing to listen to if you were getting a tattoo ever. It's like and his voice as well is like, if anyone knows what he's just Google David Goggins.
Yeah, no, I know who he is.
He's an inspiring man.
Because I sometimes I'm like a bit autistic with music, I suppose. Like I'm pretty obsessed with it, and so like music's probably the one thing I always have like a memory of. So like all my tattoos I've had, like mostly with you, but I've had a tattoo off other people. I can always remember the music that was on pretty much for like every tattoo. So like,
what can you remember some of the music when we were?
So the last one I had off you was on my leg, like a snake and an eagle. Don't even remember, but
I remember. Yeah.
We had on. We didn't have much on. I think it was just talking, and then we had on the Dogfather album, Snoop Dogg.
Did.
Yeah, with Gin and Juice on, and
mad that you remember that.
There's a beat that I can remember being on, and I don't know the name of the song still. And it goes like woo 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 woo, and anyway, I remember that. So yeah, I do remember that quite intensely.
That's mad. You remember that?
Yeah.
I know what you mean though, by
like say a song for each tattoo I've got. To be fair.
What about the tiger one?
I don't remember that actually. Maybe there wasn't anything on, but that
one.
Yeah. I might do like a playlist of songs I've been tattooed to.
Songs tattooed playlist. Yeah,
that'd be really shit. That would actually be terrible. So yeah, that's music, I suppose. So in a nutshell, it's sort of the same as what you're saying. It's more about creating just a nice environment, and the music sort of plays into that. But first and foremost, it's about, I suppose, the relationship between you and whoever you're doing it on, and being normal, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I want all my clients to like me as a person, and I think most of them do. I don't take my
Not what I've heard, mate.
No, but I've been tattooed by some people when I was younger, and at the time I was so, like, for lack of a better term, starstruck, because to me at the time people were like mega stars. I looked up to them so much when I was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been tattooed by people like that, and I've been made to feel like really unwelcome, and like I'm just money in their pocket, which I guess I am, but I don't like people to feel that way about the whole tattoo process. I like getting to know them and chatting and make them feel comfortable. And to be honest, I feel like that might contribute towards like how busy I can stay. I don't think it's just the tattoos and stuff. I think it's everything. They enjoy it, because I've had a lot of customers say to me, like, I love coming to the shop and when we're all chatting and like it's just conversations flowing really well, and they really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So the final subject is skating, and it's probably something I've never actually spoke to you about. I just haven't. So did you ever like used to skate, or do you still skate or anything?
Well, I've talked about this with some friends before, because I've got loads of friends who skate, and I just think, why was it something I never did? I just didn't get into it. But when I was real young, I was so into like skater stuff, like the style and like the games, like on PlayStation and stuff, and I was interested in it, but never once did I even consider I might try and skate. I think it was, like where you guys are from and a lot of your friends, I think skating, well, I know skating was like a cool thing to do, but do you know where I grew up and where I went to school? It was the opposite. And skating in my school was like considered very uncool.
Yeah, so you're New Parks, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
can you see what I mean by that?
Yeah, 100%. So like, do you know Dougie, one of my best mates?
I've met him before,
and he's the same. He now skates. He's my age, but it was just never accepted on his estate. Like he would have just got his board taken off and snapped on the back of a Rover Metro. And
exactly, mate. But it's so pathetic when I actually think back, because like, make sense of this. If you skated to school, like you were just the crappiest guy going. But if you rode a BMX to school, you were really cool. So where's the line there? I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe rollerblading. Try that.
Oh God, I would have got tore to shreds if I started by rollerblading to my school.
Have you ever been to a roller disco?
No, actually, but David Goggins, his dad, owned a roller disco, so I know all about it.
I've always wanted to go one, and one of the first things I did when I got to Australia was look to see if there was a roller disco around. But there isn't, and I feel like there was one in Birmingham when I used to live, obviously back in Hinkley. Yeah,
and I can imagine you doing that.
Probably my deepest regret that I never went. Maybe one day. But So you've never skated, but obviously you were into it. So did you like used to go skate parks and stuff still? Because everyone used to do that anyway, didn't they? Like,
I did, because the graffiti and the skating scene had a lot of crossover. So a lot of the spots where people would paint would also be like areas where people would skate. You know, like skate parks are always covered in graffiti. Like someone's got to have done it. It was me.
It was me.
Not literally me doing them all, but just lads like us. So yeah. I really don't know why I never just thought I'm gonna give it a crack. But yeah, I've always been around it. I'd love to try it now, but I think I'm past it now. You know what I mean? I'm 27. I feel like that might be a bit too late to start.
Yeah, well, maybe. You told me you got a funny story about Antoine Dixon the other day.
Yeah, I was just about to say
and I want to hear about that because he's quite a fascinating person.
Yeah, he's crazy. So I'd never really heard of the guy at the time. So I need to set up the story a bit better. So I was 19 years old. I was in LA, living in Hollywood, with two friends of mine, Mark Timms and Nathan Epps. They were both pursuing a career in like kickboxing, and they're now, you know, all these years later, they're both professional. I think they were professional at the time, but they're just like way better now. I don't know much about it. They were pursuing that. Now. Yeah, it's a lot harder now. They were pursuing that and going around all the gyms and stuff. And I was left to pursue my career in tattooing. So I got a job at this shop called High Seas in Hollywood. Pretty much as soon as I got there, after like a week, I just wandered in, got a tattoo, and then I said to the guy who owned it, can I have a job tattooing, basically? And he was happy to take me on. So I was in there pretty much every day, doing walk-ins and stuff, painting and whatnot. And then the guy who owned the shop, basically there's obviously a lot of famous people who live in and around LA. And he it's not like a rare thing that you'll bump into someone. And I guess Anton Dixon's relatively famous, especially if you're into skateboarding.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, this guy's going to come in. He wants a tattoo on his head of a name, and you're going to do it? And I was like, okay. And he's like, you're not going to get paid for it, but by him, but I'll pay you to do it. So basically what it was is like the guy was going to get a tattoo by me for free, and in return he was going to shout out the shop with his like mega following on Instagram and then promote the shop.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, whatever. I was happy to do any tattoo. So I didn't know what Anton Dixon looked like or who he was or anything until he literally walked through the shop doors. And I've looked up and I've seen this guy. He's a big guy and he's literally covered head to toe, like in tattoos. Yeah. And he's on walls. He's bouncing all over the place. People who know who Anton Dixon is, they'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he's looked at me straight away, and I've got a bit of a natural frown all the time, but it's nothing personal. It's just how my face is.
Yeah, same. So
I'm looking at this guy, like trying to sort of figure him out, like for about 10 seconds, and he's just gone, "What the fuck's your boy looking at, Sean?" Sean's the guy who I shot. And I'm like, "Whoa, I'm 19, you know what I mean? I'm on my own."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I didn't say a word, and he's just going like crazy in the front of the shop saying like, "Oh, your boy's not tattooing me." And he's gone into the back, and another guy who works at the shop's come out to me and said, "I've just had to basically talk him out of coming out here and like being the shit out of here."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What have I even done?" And he's like, "He just doesn't like you and stuff." And I thought, like I don't want to. I thought, oh, you know, I'm glad I'm not doing it now. But it sort of went weird. Well, not that it hadn't already gone weird. It went weirder. The guy was fucked up. He was drunk. He was on drugs. He took a piss in the shop on the floor.
What Antoine Dixon did?
Yeah. and that was just normal because of who he was. He could do whatever he liked.
Yeah.
He still got the tattoo by somebody else, and he sort of like decided he liked me halfway through the day, and then because I've got the gold teeth and he's got the exact same ones in the same place, he liked that, and we like had a little thing about that, and then he had a picture with me with both of us smiling.
Oh.
And then I'm not going to incriminate anyone by saying any names, but after he was done, he was like, "Oh, we're all going back to my apartment now to like do some seriously like bad drugs, like not smoking weed."
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys from the shop like attended that night at the apartment, and I gave it a miss. But yeah, that was the first and last time I'd seen him.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a pretty cool skating story. My one and only skating story.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like really good. I've got nothing like that.
So
I did once give Goldberg a high five though in Cancun.
Oh, nice.
He was at my hotel, and so,
nice.
We've all met people like that, mate. It's not just you.
Yeah, you got something.
So the last question, it's gone pretty quick, hasn't it? But
yeah.
You're like, no.
No.
So everyone, I know you've never skated, but everyone likes skate shoes. So have you got like have you got like a favourite skate shoe ever?
Well,
it doesn't have to be that you've not skated, so you don't have to have skated.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shoes that are good.
But are Vans a skate shoe? Of course they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
but I want specifics, George. I can't just have Vans because
I'm going to go into it further.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say they're necessarily like, I wouldn't sum it up as my favourite skate shoe, but considering all I've wore for probably the last 8 years is Vans every single day. Do you want me to show you? Hold on. I've got them on now.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Like slip on.
Yeah.
So I'd say they're probably not the best skate shoe because they're quite loose, but they're my favourite.
Yeah. I've got them exact ones as well. So you know,
nice, classic. I've tried to go out there. I've got some white ones before, but you know, because of my job, they last for about a day and they're just splattered with ink. And
yeah.
I've got black clothing to disguise it all.
Well, at least they're the good. You've got the good ones as well. That with the blue writing on them means they're like made in the good factory.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now.
So the ones with the red writing on the tag often means they're crap, like and they're rubbish.
Well, these ones are for Wogo. They're probably a bit more premium.
Yeah, there'll be pro ones or something, comfy insole than that maybe.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. It's hard though because like I obviously I've always skated, but not very well and stuff. And because I like talk about skating on this, I just get loads of stuff wrong. So like, it's hard to be in charge of a topic that you don't actually know like the details of.
Aren't you like big into surfing though? I guess they have a big crossover, don't they?
Yeah. Like that's like huge here. Like skating's sort of for when there's no surf, I suppose. And even when people do skate, they're basically just like surfing on the skate park, if you know what I mean. They're like, obviously you've been LA, it's probably similar scene there. Probably not quite as surf heavy.
Oh,
it's everywhere here. It's crazy.
In LA was like mad. Like I've never seen so many people like just cruising around. It was sick. It really made me wish I could do it.
Yeah, and I think surfing's like I've found the best thing in the world to do for me. And I'm not very good either. Like, there's people who are like 5 years old who are like amazing here. But I just love being out in the water, and I think anyone who tries it, they always go like, "Yeah, it was great."
Yeah,
and Brody's
I think you were basically you were born to live in Australia. I think you were born in because when I first met you, like you just look Australian. Do you know what I mean? And the stuff you're into.
Yeah, I had that hat with corks on when I met you.
You had what, sorry?
I said I had a hat with corks on when I first met you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and some barbecue tongs like that. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of Foster's.
Yeah. Yeah. I've not seen Foster's here. They don't do it. It's a myth. Yeah. Yeah, Foster's doesn't even exist here. But yeah. I think that's probably a good note to finish on, is that Australia don't do Foster's.
Yeah, that's a really good finishing point.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
cheers for speaking to us, George. It was
I've enjoyed it.
Informative and fun and relaxing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird now saying bye. Isn't it? Like, yeah, see you now. I'll never see you again now. So bye.
We'll have to fake it, right? After 3, we'll say bye.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.